Are you lacking a little bit of energy? Do you need a little bit of a boost? Or maybe you just want a tasty beverage? I got you covered. Introducing G Fuel, a sugar-free formula with loads of different flavors to choose from that'll give you a boost. These are a couple of the flavors out of the many that I really like. Now, G Fuel also has a non-caffeine line called Hydration, and these are absolute bangers containing a lot of electrolytes and vitamins. By using code SALT, you can get 20% off your purchase right now. Link in the description of the video. If you miss the salt, it's not my fault. What's up, it's you? For today's video, with the full Hisuian Pokemon team number 2. Today we're going to be covering Electrode, Zoroark, Sneasler, Lilligant, Typhlosion, and Samurott. Last night's video I did was the part 1 of this. If you haven't seen these Pokemon already, make sure you check it out. And let's get into it. I've got 4 battles today with the Hisuian team number 2. Tonight will be a double upload too. I'll get the last team out, the Hisuian 3 number team. Then we might have a look at the baby or middle stage ones if you like that. First Pokemon doesn't even fit on the screen. We've got a Samurott Hisuian lead here. We got the actual Ceaseless Edge as our first move, which is actually pretty cool. It's a dark type move and it actually puts a layer of toxic spikes. Sorry, spikes on the field there. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So we got some spikes on the field there. I'm going to get hit by the ginormous Dialga, and Ceaseless Edge actually does a pretty decent amount of damage. Now, the EV spread I gave this was max health and max attack with an Assault Vest as its item. Sacred Sword, Aqua Cutter, and Bulldoze, I gave it sharpness as the ability, boosting a couple of those moves there. Next Pokemon I got is Electrode, which is actually Zoroark hiding. So you already know about Zoroark, so I actually made a fun bulky set. So it's got Bitter Malice, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Willow Mist. And this has got max health and max defense, EV's bold nature. I actually took quite a few people off guard with this set. It doesn't really hit very hard, but it was pretty funny because there was a lot of times a normal Zoroark Hisuian would have fainted in one shot, and it didn't. Now, Dialga's going to close his eyes again when it attacks and take out my Zoroark. If you want to support the videos, people, and you enjoy them, make sure you do hit that like button. Tell me, what Pokemon is your favorite Hisuian? Let me know in the comment section of the video there. I'm actually sort of torn now between, I like Electrode and I actually quite like Sneasler too. It's quite a cool Pokemon. Speaking of which, we got a Sneasler here, and this Sneasler has a signature move called Dire Claw. What this does, it has a 50% chance to put the opponent to sleep, poison, or paralyzed, which is pretty good actually. This has 80 base power and it's a physical move. This is a Dire Claw, Fake Out, Taunt, and Reversal set, max attack and max speed, a jolly nature. I've got the item as Focus Sash and the ability is Unburden. It also gets Poison Touch and Pressure. So Hisuian is going to get its cheeks clapped there by Reversal, and out comes a Giratina. Now, I can't really do much to Giratina, so I'm going to leave Sneasler maybe for the last bit of the battle, bring it back in when I can, when this Giratina is out the way. I really can't do much here. So Giratina is going to go for a Shadow Force here. Also, if you've been doing any battles on the Pokeportal Online, legendaries are just getting spammed everywhere, and all the real powerful Pokemon. So just a heads up when you plan to use your new Hisuian Pokemon. Be prepared for them. Anyway, we got Typhlosion, which Hisuian, which actually has Friska's ability, which is pretty cool. So this has got the move Infernal Parade. What this does, it's a 60 base power move and has a 30% chance to burn. It has 2 times the base power if the target is already status. So you could say it's a glorified Hex, really, So it's better than Hex because it can burn, but it's Hex with a burn chance. Anyway, we got the Shadow Force Giratina. I thought it'd be funny to see if I could live a Shadow Force there when it was obviously burn, but it still was way too powerful, which is okay. I've got Lilligant here. So Lilligant, actually, this is a very, very powerful Pokemon. It gets a move called Victory Dance. This fighting type move raises the attack, defense, and speed by 1 stage, which is pretty strong. So it's sort of like it's like an opposite Quiver Dance almost. Now the moves this gets, I gave it Axe Kick, Leaf Blade, and Ice Spinner. You could give it Close Combat if you wanted to. And it also has the ability Hustle. So Hustle is going to increase its attack by 1.5 times, making it hit very, very hard. It also has Chlorophyll and Leaf Guard too, but you're probably going to be using Hustle and Chlorophyll most. So Guillotine is actually going to burn me, which really, really sucks, but I still did some pretty good damage here. It's going to be going for another Shadow Force here. So I was like, well, I may as well use Victory Dance again and get myself another attack, speed, and defensive boost. But I see this Pokemon as a very, very nice physical sweeper. It is a grass and fighting type, if you didn't know. Our Typhlosion Hisuian was a ghost and fire, and we had, who else we had? We had Samurott as a water and dark type of. I didn't go over those ones already. So I'm boosting up my stats here again. I can definitely outspeed the next Pokemon. Depending on what it is, I should be able to do like a decent amount of damage here too. So Guillotine is going to go for a Dragon Claw, and then I get critted. You wouldn't read about it. So I had a lot of boosts up there. I felt like I could probably take out another Pokemon or two after that, even though I had a burn, but it is what it is. Next Pokemon is Electrode. So Electrode Hisuian. This has got the ability Soundproof Static Aftermath. It's got the signature move Chloroblast. So Chloroblast is 150 base power grass move. And it's basically Steel Beam, so you lose 50% of your health after you use it. But it's a good way for it to hit like ground types and water types and stuff, mainly ground types and stuff like that. So I've got Chloroblast, Volt Switch, Terra Blast, and Thunder from Down Under. Now this has here with the Aftermath, and I gave it Citrus Berry as its item, max special attack and max speed. So in comes Zamazenta. Now Zamazenta actually gets body press in this game, which is, whoa, it's very, very powerful, because obviously it gets a +1 on swapping in, and it can simply use the Iron Defense and spam body press, and it's already got huge defense already, so I can see this being a very, very scary Pokemon to verse here. So I managed to get its health down there with a little bit of attack and aftermath damage from Electrode, which is awesome. So I've got one Pokemon left, and that is Sneasler. So Sneasler is on 1 health here. There's a lot of defense boost here. I'm going to go for a fully powered up reversal. That is going to take Zamazenta out, which is awesome. I'm glad I did some form of damage to that. Now, Sneasler is a fighting and poison type too, which is pretty interesting. So out comes Palkia Origin. It's floating, and I'm going to go for a reversal. My best move, and Palkia gets dropped in one shot. So there's only one more Pokemon left, and we got Hooper Unbound here. So we got the legendaries everywhere today. So some Spikes damage is going to be handy here. We've got a Terra on the Hooper. So Hooper you can see in its Unbound form now, which is pretty cool. And we got a Fighting Terra Hooper. So I was like, oh, at least it wasn't a ghost, you know, that would have been very bad. So I went for a reversal again on the Hooper. I was like, this is going to do a pretty good amount of damage, and Hooper gets dumpstered in one shot, and that is the end of the battle there. My Sneasler coming in clutch on 1 health right at the end. Thank you for the battle, Gabriel, whoever you are. That one was on a random Poker Portal battle. Let's get on to battle number 2. This is a battle against Kiro Shiro, and we actually have a Hisuian versus Hisuian Pokemon here. So I was going to be curious to see what Pokemon were the same mind. So we've got a Lilligant lead here. Now, I've got Samurott, which really isn't the greatest matchup here. Now, Lilligant is going to go Victory Dance right off the bat on turn 1. So like, oh, this is a problem. So what my Samurott's going to be doing here, it's going to be going for Sacred Sword. I was thinking about doing Ceaseless Edge, but I actually went for that instead. Now we've got an Axe Kick here. Axe Kick is a very, very powerful move. That's going to take out the Samurott as well. I actually gave mine Axe Kick too, but as I mentioned before, you could do close combat and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring my Sneasler. I've got the Fake Out here. I've got Focus Sash, so I will be able to use, obviously, attack after this, thank goodness, because that would have been very, very scary if I didn't have that. So Focus Sash is going to be coming in clutch here, and Sneasler can take it out with a Dire Claw. Now, I have a couple of people ask me if I'm going to do movesets on the new Pokemon, and I will. I'll be starting those tomorrow. I just wanted to get the last, you know, this Hisuian team and the third one done tonight. So it's going to be a double upload night. But obviously, tomorrow onwards, I'll be putting out guides daily for all the new Hisuian Pokemon. I might even touch on some of the new ones, too, that haven't been in the game for ages and stuff like that. If you've got any recommendations you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. All right, we got the Bravery coming out here. Bravery's going to take me out with Esper Wing. That's its new Psychic-type move. Every time it uses it, it raises its speed by 1 stage. So we're going to bring in the Electrode. I was like, well, you know, Thunder should do some pretty good damage here, or Volt Switch. Let's go for Volt Switch, because I'll probably miss. And that is the end of the Weird Burbs. That's good. Like, Electrode's high base speed, you know, kind of saved me there. So Electrode's going to be swapping out. We got the Zoroark coming in. And this time, I didn't actually disguise it as anything, because The thing about this was I've already got Bitter Blade, so it's kind of obvious what it is. Like, normally I wouldn't give it Bitter Blade. I'd try and disguise it, you know, with other clever moves like Shadow Ball and stuff like that. But since I'm using signature moves in Pokemon, a lot of the time there wasn't really too much point in doing that. Maybe swapping into like a fighting move was about the only use I had there, you know, for the ability Illusion. So when it comes to Decidueye there, I want to say I like its normal better than its shiny, because its shiny throws back to the original Decidueye. Anyway, here comes the triple arrows there. Nearly said triple apples. I'm thinking of that, I was thinking of that thing when, yeah, the apples were shot off the, was it William Tell? Anyway, the apples were shot off the head there. So anyway, that is the end of the Zoroark. So that's three Pokemon down. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be Electrode. I can easily outspeed this. I can just go for a Disrespect Terra Blast here. I didn't really want to go for Volt Switch. I just wanted to go for Terra Blast Plus. This is Terra Water too. Oh, I didn't tell you what my Terras were. Lots of time. So we got the Snail coming at it, which is good. I'm going to go for Volt Switch. This is Terra Blast Water on Electrode. I felt that gave it great coverage. So it had an electric type move, whether you got Thunder or Volt Switch, and then it had Terra Blast Water and Chloroblast for a Grass Switch. So I can see that it's got leftovers there with Typhlosion, and it's going to go for his signature move, Shelter. Shelter basically is Acid Armor. Exactly the same thing, except, you know, Shelter's probably got like a cooler animation. Now, this thing is going to be quite difficult to actually take out here. So I was thinking, let's go for Will-O-Wisp. I know that, you know, my signature move already has a 30% chance, but I want to hit it with a double base power Infernal Parade and see what actually happens here. This is max special attack and max speed Terra Ghost. And I had the Sneasler as Terra Poison. I had the Lilligant as Terra Fighting, and the Samurott as Terra Dark. So, and the Zoroark was Terra Normal. But yeah, not too different sort of Terra typings for these Pokemon. So I did a pretty good amount of damage here. It's a physical Gudra, which is actually good. And my Typhlosion managed to live on 2 health, which is awesome. So I can use one more move here and probably bring in one of my other Pokemon, you know, just to finish it off here. Now, I've got a question for you all, too. As you know, later on today, I'm going to be putting up the Hisuian 3 team, which covers the last 5 fully evolved or standalone Hisuian Pokemon. Would you like to see a 4th one on all the remainders, so like the babies and stuff like that? I can put them all into one video. Would you like to see that? Let me know, because I can definitely try and do that one next week. But if you're interested in those sort of things, just seeing, you know, all the new Pokemon, the Hisuian Pokemon. So we're going to bring in the Lilligant here. I thought it was a good actual time to raise up my stats, considering I was versing a physical set. This thing has got Body Slam, and then I got Paralyzed. I'm like, oh, that was really, really unlucky. So I was like, you know what? Let's go for another one. I'm going to try and make up for my speed here. I know that I can probably take this out fairly easily. So I've got 2 attack, 2 defense, and 2 speed. Gudra really can't do any form of damage here. I'm just going to go for Ice Spin and take it out there. So that's the end of the Snail. I guess it does look like a snail. And then it has Gooey. I'm like, oh. I was hoping it was like, you know, Sap Sipper or Shell Army. You know, not Gooey. That's going to drop my speed even more. Next Pokemon is the Typhlosion. So we both have one. I quite like how it sort of stands sideways. It's got a cool stance. So it's going to be going for a Calm Mind, boosting its special attack and special defense. So I was like, all right, fair enough. Well, I really can't do much apart from Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade does enormous amounts of damage there. If I got a crit, it would have one-shot it, which is pretty impressive. So Typhlosion's got a Wiki Berry as its item, and now it's going to go for Flamethrower. So obviously I'm not going to leave that. And I've got one more Pokemon left, and there's still 2 to go. So I've got my Electro. Like, I wonder whether I can take this out. I mean, I've got Terra Water, so I should be able to. So I've got the Terra Electrode here, Terra Water, which I think is a pretty good type of that. Also, another good reason is, say, if the opponent uses a fire move on you, because obviously you're electric and grass, you can go into that, and you can hit them for a surprise water attack. So I definitely suggest Terra Water on Electrode if you want some good coverage and surprise. Once again, I'm going to be doing a moveset on all the brand new Hisuian Pokemon. That'll be coming up tomorrow. All right, so we got a Terra Psychic Typhlosion. I was like, oh, I don't know whether my Terra Blast is going to faint here, because remember, it's now neutral, and it is a Calm Mind up too. So my Terra Blast fails to take out the Whisperer, and here comes a Terra Blast Extra Sensory. It's like a flinching set. Electrode lived on 3 health, and I ate my citrus berry. I was like, whoa, that was really, really close there. That's mean, a flinch there. I guess that's good on any Pokemon that's, not faster, right? You have a good, flinching chance. So that's the end of the Typhlosion. That was a very, very close shave there. Reminds me, I actually need to have a shave. Next Pokemon and last is going to be the Dart Warrior. I'm just going to go for Chloroblast. It's basically a green Hyper Beam, and that is going to take both of us out virtually in the same turn. And that is a draw. Well, I guess I technically won because my Pokemon fainted last, but I see those battles as a draw. But hope you enjoyed that. It was a full Hisuian Pokemon, sort of like a battle royale there. Let's go on to battle number 3. This is a battle against Leah. This one is on the Pokepod. Oh, our characters actually look kind of similar, except I think there's long pants and overalls and stuff like that. I wish we had some more options to remove the clothing, the middle force clothing you have to wear. I wish we could changed it up a little bit more. Anyway, we're going to Umbreon leader. We're for Psychic. I think they may have thought that I was hiding Samurott as Zoroark. Actually, funnily enough, I almost did that, but I changed it at the last minute. So I got a free Spikes up there and a free Umbreon KO. Next Pokemon is Jolteon. So well, I've got Assault Vest as my item. I should be able to live this one. Not very well. It used Discharge and it critted me. I'm like, oh, come on. So I was really unlucky there, but that's Pokemon. What can you do? So down goes the Samurott. At least I got rid of the Umbreon. Next Pokemon I can bring in is Typhlosion. Maybe they'll have Shadow Ball. Maybe they won't. Let's see. It's going to outspeed me with the Shadow Ball, and that does a little bit too much health here. I ended up going for Willow Mist instead of Astral Barrage. I probably should have gone for Astral Barrage, but it is what it is, right? So that's the burn on the Jolteon. Jolteon could go for another Shadow Ball here. I was looking at my team and I'm thinking, do I really need Typhlosion? I was like, maybe I will. What I'll do is I'll go into Lilligant here. So Lilligant might be able to get the attacking move off here if I can outspeed the Jolteon. I'm just hoping that it's Volt Absorb and not Quick Feet, because if it is Quick Feet, it will outspeed me, but the chances are fairly low. So here comes another Shadow Ball here. Lilligant is going to be able to live that, which is cool, and now get off the Victory Dance. So as you know, Victory Dance is going to increase my attack and speed and defense by 1 stage. The defense isn't really super important at this point, and I've got my speed boost here, and unfortunately for me, the Jolteon actually was a Quick Feet set, and it outsped me with Shadow Balls. I'm like, I really should have just gone for Astral Barrage, but then again, right, if you think about it, I could have gone for that and burnt it, and then the same thing could have happened. So that's how it is, right? Next Pokemon is Electrode. Electrode even get outsped, obviously due to the Quick Feet. Shadow Ball doesn't do too much to my ball, and I'm going to fire the Chloroblast off it and take it out. I am going to take some damage there, but I've got the Citrus Berry, so I'll be able to have a little bit more health there, which is cool. Just maybe a weak priority move might fail to take my Electrode out now. It's going to have to be a pretty weak one. Next Pokemon is Flareon. So I can go for a Terra Blast Water here. Flareon doesn't have bad special defense, base special defense. So even if I can put this, into 3/4 health, that would be good. I was questioning whether I could actually beat this in one shot. I did actually run Modest on this for a little bit of extra, base power because, Electrode isn't the hardest hitter in the world. So I'm going to go for that Terra Blast Water, Modest Nature on the Flareon. It still doesn't take it out. It was so close. And now they're going to go for a Lava Plume. Lava Plume does not take me out. Obviously, they weren't predicting a Water Terror there. And Flareon is going to faint. So that's excellent. So, Electrode really pulling through its weight. Next Pokemon is Leafon, and there's not a lot I can really do here. So I was like, I either go for Chloroblast or Volt Switch. I was like, let's just go for Chloroblast. Faint myself in case they try and set up, Sword Dance and stuff against me. I can quickly send a Pokemon in on the field there, instead of me going Volt Switch and taking damage and stuff like that if that did happen. So I'm bringing in my Typhlosion. I can go for my attacking move. That should be enough to take it out. It's only on a low amount of health, and Leafon's special defense is, pretty bad. So that's the end of the Leafon, and yes, it is an evolution team. I've totally never seen one of these in my life. Next Pokemon is going to be Vaporeon. So Vaporeon is going to be taking some damage from the spikes, and it doesn't really take a lot of damage from my attacking move. So it's definitely it's definitely bulky on the special. I want to say it's max special defense. It's super bulky. It might even have Salt Vest too. So it's got Muddy Water and Hydro Pump. Man, they really want to make sure they've got a water boost. That's going to be the end of my Typhlosion, which
the outcome didn't really surprise me too much. So I'm going to go into Zoroark, which is actually Sneasler, which is actually Zoroark. And I'm going to go for my signature move there. And now, of course, I know what I'm going to obviously be here. And Muddy Water misses, thank goodness. So if it wasn't too obvious, I could go for Bitter Battles again and take out the Vaporeon. I've still got my Illusion up, all right? It's definitely not Zoroark right now. So also another thing to note too, the opponent can't see the nickname Zoroark, they see Sneasler. If you were curious about, you know, how that illusion ability did work. You can only see it yourself. I guess they did it so you can see it yourself so you don't get confused, right? So anyway, we got a physical Sylveon. I was like, oh, well, okay. That's gonna break my Zoroark's illusion. I was like, well, I've got my Sneasler in the back. I've got its signature move, so I may as well just use that to finish off this Sylveon, right? So I'm going to be going into Sneasler here. Sneasler can go for a signature move. It's pulled out a Moonblast, like, oh, that's going to do a lot of damage, and I went for the Dire Claw. And that is the end of the Sylveon, and that's also the end of the battle against the Evolution Trainer. Thank you, Leah, for the battle, whoever you are. If any of the people I battle see this video, make sure to drop a comment below. It was like to, you know, hear from my random opponents I bump into. Last battle here, this one is against Super Bowser, and we got an interesting team here. It's sort of filled with Pokemon that I knew from Pokemon Home. So first Pokemon is going to be Cleaver. So I'm going to go clap them cheeks there. And it does a little bit of damage in case it has a sash. I was like, well, it certainly doesn't have a sash. It's got leftovers. So it's a bulky Cleaver. So I was trying to get a status here. I hope, like, preferably Sleep. I thought that'd be funny. And it's going to use its move Stone Axe, which is a signature move, and it puts Stealth Rock on the field. Whoa, that's going to be a very, very powerful move. Now, Cleaver is going to be in my third team, my third Hisuian teams, which will be a little bit later on tonight or today, whatever your time zone is. I will be putting that one up. So anyway, it's going to be going for a Rock Blast here. Now, I'm not too sure whether I would live this or not. I'm like, okay, well, it's got to hit me all 5 times. And the Rock Blast, as you can see, hit me all 5 times. Like, come on. I was going to go for a reversal there, but it didn't happen. So that's the end of that. I'm going to go into Electrode here. I'm pretty salty right now. Now, I could go for Volt Switch, or I could even go for my Terra Water. However, we got the Cleaver swapping out here, and we got the Sneasler coming in. So we both had a Sneasler. Sneasler, like, real talk, Sneasler is actually a really, really, really good Pokemon I've been using. I'm like, damn, this thing's like really, it's not like super duper overpowered, but it's a solid Pokemon. Really, really good. So anyway, I'm going to be eating my Citrus Berry there, which is going to be good because that means I can use Chloroblast again and then live to tell the tale afterwards. We got another leftovers Pokemon, so 2 leftovers as the item so far. So Sneasler's going to use Protect. I actually think maybe they predicted me to use like my Chloroblast here, or just wanted to see what move I was going to use. I was definitely not going to use Chloroblast in that situation, but it's going to get probably to get another round of leftovers there, and, you know, to try and make me salty. So I'm going to go for Thunder from down under here, and hoping to take the Sneasler, and it doesn't take it out of him. Man, I'm sick of that today, seriously. I've been taking so many Pokemon to like a low amount of health, and they just won't fade. However, I got an Aftermath KO there, so I guess I got the last Aftermath laugh. So that's the end of the Sneasler, and of course the Electrode. It was a double KO. Next Pokemon I'm going to bring in here is going to be the Samurott. I was like, hopefully I can get Ceaseless Edge up. That'll be quite good. And we both have an Electrode. Oh, also, we'll be doing all the evolution and form teams of all the new Pokemon too. I know few people already been asking me whether I cover them. I definitely will. So we'll have a lot of new content coming over the next, like, at least month it'll take me to get through all of those. So I hope you're really looking forward to that, because I am. It's going to be lots of fun using all these new Pokemon. So Electrode also, what the heck? Is this a full leftovers team in disguise? Anyway, so Samurott is going to be taking a pretty hard hit there, and it's going to actually having the Electrode faint, but I got paralyzed, and not that it really mattered or anything. Now, the next Pokemon is another Hooper. I was like, oh, I don't want to get lost in those rings, man. Here comes a takedown Hooper, and it's taken me down. So that's the end of the Samurott there. First time I've seen a takedown Hooper before. So it's got Magician, and it's stole my Assault Vest. Like, come on. So we're going to go into Zoroark, which is Lilligant but disguised as a Zoroark, and that's going to use its signature move, Hyperspace Fury. It actually looks really cool. That's one of the few signature moves that they actually sort of kept that, you know, they didn't remove or revoke all the details from. I think in Sun and Moon, from memory, it would do those rings, and then Hooper would be laughing at the bottom screen. It was like, or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was, and my DS would have this glitch because I think the DS was so, like, it couldn't handle the animation. I always remember that. It's quite funny. Anyway, so we got the Typhlosion coming here. It's time for a little Timmy Terror. I've got to get some damage here, or I'm going to be absolutely destroyed. So we're going to be Terra fighting the Lilligant. And yeah, this Pokemon, I want to say Lilligant and Sneasler, I've been very out of this team. I've been very, very impressed with. Like, competitively speaking, they're, very, very good Pokemon for sure. Got some excellent stuff there. I mean, of course, you got like, you've got these spikes from the Samurott too, which is quite nice too. So it's going to be an Inferno Typhlosion. I would have not liked that one to land, and that's going to be the end of Typhlosion, which is good there. That would have been the end of my Lilligant. Easy peasy. In comes Hooper again with an Assault Vest. It's going to take some spikes damage. Here comes a Terra Hooper. I'm like, what is this going to be? So, as you know, Hooper does have an enormous thumping special attack stat, and this is going to be a psychic one. So, like, all right, fair enough. That's good. That's fine. I can go for attacking. I went for Axe Kick, and Axe Kick missed. I'm like, come on. It must have gone right through the hole, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it's going to be a Terra Blast Confusion, and Lilligant is going to faint, so I just lost to a Confusion Hooper that went through the hole. I mean, you wouldn't read about it, right? Next Pokemon we got is Typhlosion. I need to get rid of this thing right now, so I'm like, all right, I know that it's got Assault Vest. Hopefully I get a crit. However, we got a Hooper swap out, and we got Basculegion coming in. Now, Basculegion will be in the third team too. I'll be covering the male and female forms, so I hope you're looking forward to all these new stuff that's coming later on tonight. So I got the burn there, which is really cool, and what the heck? This has got leftovers as well. I mean, I would say it's a full leftovers team, but Hooper's got an Assault Vest. We'll just call that leftovers vest. Anyway, like, you got a vest, right, and you get instant leftovers for every Pokemon remaining on your team. Game Freak, hire me. Next Pokemon is going to be Cleaver. Cleaver is going to take a bit of damage. I've popped Solar Beam here. I actually changed my items around this Typhlosion. I think I had an Expert Belt, then I swapped it around to Power Herb, so I could use that Solar Beam right off the bat there without setting the Sunny down. So that is going to be the end of the Cleaver there. Last Pokemon is the Hooper. So I was like, all right, here we go. It's time for a ginormous crit. I got some more spikes damage. Here it comes. It doesn't take it out due to the Assault Vest it took from me earlier, and now it's going to fate me with a Confusion. That's enough salt for tonight, people. For now. I'll catch you a little bit later on for the Hisuian 3 video. Peace out.